Hi, today we are going to make some three-dimensional forms out of clay. You have a lump of clay in front of you. I want you to take off a piece small enough to fit in your hand, not a huge piece. The first thing we're going to do is simply make a sphere. So we're going to take this lump and turn it into a ball. I think that the easiest way to make a sphere without handling the clay too much and drawing it out is to make a cube first. So go ahead and tap your clay onto the table on all 6 sides. You want to keep turning and tapping. If you tap too many times on one side, your clay is going to flatten out. So you want to keep turning it. It's not a perfect cube, but it's decent. Once you get it kind of a cube shape, then you can turn it into a sphere. You want to just press the edges down, pat them in, roll it a little bit if you have to. Keep moving it around in your hands so that all the sides are fairly symmetrical until you get a ball. It's not a perfect sphere. I'm not too concerned about that right now. We're just going to set that aside. I'll teach you how to hollow that out in a little bit. Next, let's make a let's try making a pyramid. So we're going to take off a little more, and the easiest way to start anything with flat edges is to start with a cube. So I'm going to do the same thing this time and pat it, tap it on the table, keep moving it. If I get any major cracks in my clay, I want to try to pat those out or try to smear them out with my finger. Little cracks aren't that big of a deal at this point. Alright, so we have a cube to start with. How do I make this into a pyramid? Well, we need to decide what side will be the bottom. So if this side's going to be the bottom and this side's going to be the top, it needs to be more pointed. So I'm just going to use my hands to get it started. I want this to come up. I'll just get it going, and then I'm going to tap, but every time I tap, I'm going to press down a little bit on this side so we get a slant. Try not to let it wrinkle too much. If it starts to wrinkle, keep turning it. You want it to change gradually. Make sure my bottom's still flat. It's getting a little wonky, so I'll tap it out. And then, I took a little clay off here. You don't want to take off too much. Just gently pinch. Okay, it's starting to come along. It looks basically like my pyramid. It's still a little funny looking. So I'm going to tap it a little bit more. And smooth. At this stage, we're not super concerned about getting it perfectly smooth, but I do want to have fairly defined edges. All the edges of my pyramid should be kind of crisp. The wall should be fairly straight. From there, you can really kind of make any geometric form that you want. You start with a cube and you make it into a sphere. By tapping, it really gets the form started, and from here we can kind of change it into anything our plan needs.